Yep.
But his two favorite flavors were smoked fish and bananas. And we just, no matter how, we just could not wrap our brain around that. So, Dad, we love you, but you didn't get a beer.
Could have done a smoked fish Hefeweizen.
Yeah, no. You know, there's just certain things you want to stay away from.
Hey, travelers, it's another Taproom Takeover podcast, and this week we are at one of my very favorites. I think the very first craft brewery that I ever went to in Eau Claire is Lazy Monk. And of course, I went to the old Lazy Monk, but that was the first one, but we'll get into that later. So I have Leos and Theresa Frank with me today. They are the owners of Lazy Monk Brewing. And thank you guys for joining me. It's a pleasure to finally get you guys both on something that we're doing for the Taproom Travelers. So
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you probably remember that you were the very first episode that we ever did for our YouTube show. And if you believe it or not, that was 7 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Life.
Gee, it seems like
time
yesterday.
flies.
Doesn't it? Yeah, so and that was in the old place over in Banbury.
Yes.
And for those of you that are listening, if you're outside of the Eau Claire area, Banbury is an old tire factory here in Eau Claire, and it's a rather large building that it's hard to miss. But you guys were an outbuilding over there, and it was a very, I'd like to refer to it as an intimate tap room.
Speak easy.
Speakeasy, because if you pulled up, you saw
had no idea.
Yeah,
we
you
were
saw
there.
the community table, which is they do meals for the poor in our town, and if you pulled up and you saw that first, and you go, I don't think I'm in the right place.
We had a lot of that.
Is the GPS telling me a wrong place again? But it wasn't. It was, you found your little tap room there, and I have great memories of celebrations and Oktoberfests and all kinds of different things that we had there. So, and speaking of that, I mean, we will get to that later. We're still kind of in COVID times, so celebrations and stuff haven't been as prevalent as they were in years past. And I know you guys typically do an Oktoberfest celebration, but last year you did pull an Oktoberfest celebration off, but it wasn't like it normally is. Is that going to happen again?
Well, we hope to.
Yeah.
We're not really sure that we'll be able to because of the COVID issue, but
Sure.
we will do something. And what we like to do is there are the Oktoberfest fairs that people seem to have around here. We like to bring what Oktoberfest is actually about when you're in Germany. So it's about small breweries celebrating the beer and celebrating the season. So we really do that. It's not a fair environment. It's all about the beer.
Yeah.
And we try to have our German tap room look like Oktoberfest if you were going to a small brewery, say in Kelheim or one of those cities in Germany. That's what we try to do here. So yes, we will do something. Not sure what scale it will be, but I'm looking forward to it because it doesn't feel like fall without Oktoberfest.
Right. And I know the community loves it too, and I can't speak solely for the community, but I know a lot of people come out to it, and that's one of the celebrations that people in Eau Claire look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
It's people, it's beer, it's being outside, it's celebrating. And
Absolutely, and we have people who travel from Minneapolis who come to our Oktoberfest who have been to Germany.
Yeah.
And, everyone thinks Munich, and that's kind of a crazy place during Oktoberfest time. But when you go outside of the Munich area, that's when you see what we do here, and people respond to that because they have seen it, and
Right.
they feel like they're being transported back to Germany during that time.
yeah, and that's awesome. I was actually over there during October. I didn't get to go, but I was there. So I got to see video and pictures from one of my co-workers that was actually in Germany doing a separate trip from me. And she's like, look, I'm at Oktoberfest. And which at that time I was actually in Prague. So Leos and and you guys, Leos is from formerly Czechoslovakia, Czech
Yes.
Republic, Slovakia, that area, yeah. So that's where your love of beer, I imagine, probably started.
That's why our Pilsner and Bohemian Dark, they are our flagship.
Yeah, and that's I enjoyed every beer I had over there. Even the macros tasted different, if you can believe that, because when you're traveling with a group of people, you get a lot of macro beer that's thrown at you. So
Yes.
yeah, but I did enjoy. I think the biggest thing that I enjoyed about Prague, and I really wasn't there long enough, is that when you go into a place and you sit down, and even if you don't speak the same language that they do, which I don't, I know enough pivo that's I can get a beer. That's about
Yes.
it.
Your fingers will tell you
I
how
did.
many.
I was able to point at a menu, and if I found my last name, which means black in Czech,
Yes.
that I could get a beer that I was probably really gonna like.
Dark beer. They might actually say tmavé,
Yeah,
so that would confuse from Černé.
yeah.
It's the same beer.
Well, that's good to know when I go back.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you've brought some of what you grew up with over here. It's not something that you see in a lot of places, especially around here. There aren't even really anybody making a Pilsner anymore. I mean, you're starting to see it come around again. But what drove you to start making beer and your kind of beer here?
To start with, it was showcase what I grew up with. That was the first thing. On the other side, when we opened a brewery, it was everybody was making pale ale and IPA and porter. So to the other side, it was distinguishing ourselves from any other brewery.
Yeah.
To have different offering. Now we could not just stay with those two beers because people like to have a choice. So we had to diverse ourselves. So we have other beers on tap here, and we are making other beers as well.
But I think one of the things that make us different is we are primarily a lager house, which a lot of people don't take the time, the energy to do lagers because they take so much longer. And I love the fact that we've tried to stay with European style beers. We stayed true to who we were. There's a lot of things in the industry right now that I snicker at when I read about the different beers and the concoctions that people are doing.
Sure.
And it's a comforting thing saying I can go here and have this beer and it's going to be consistent and it's what I like. It's a good drinking beer. It's fun to go and try those interesting beers, but do you want to go back for a second, third, and fourth? And I think the longevity of our brewery, which we're coming up on our 11th year.
It's amazing.
It is amazing in this industry. That we've been here so long is because people gravitate back to something that's drinkable and it's European flavored and it's just a good quality product.
And I've asked this of other breweries that we've had on. Are you starting to see like a cycle? People will go out for a while, go away from the kind of beers that you have here, but then they always come back. Mm-hmm. Is that pretty consistent with what you see?
We do.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to try the newest kid on the block,
Sure.
or everyone wants to try the new beers that are out, the strange flavors. But, we may have someone leave, but 6 months later they're back and they're in the tap room. And
Yeah.
again, it's the longevity and it's the quality that keeps bringing people back. So you can go out and try those things, and some people may like them, and that's wonderful. But we'll be here brewing those old-fashioned beers that people love.
And I think you guys have a pretty good, your tap list for people that have different tastes, or you have an IPA, you have a Berliner Weiss, you have things that if you're not what some people would call a beer drinker, a beer that tastes like beer, you have other things that
Yes, we do.
yeah.
And we're really excited. We are coming out this summer. So there's something in Europe called a rattler.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it is about 30% beer, the rest is juice. A lot of times they'll do like a lime or a lemonade type thing with it. We've been doing a cranberry ginger rattler for a couple of years now, and it's huge for the people who aren't big beer drinkers.
Yeah.
More of the wine cooler type. So we decided that this summer we're going to come out with a line of rattlers that will be appealing to everyone. And our first one up is going to be strawberry rhubarb.
Ooh.
I know. I'm really excited about it.
Have you announced that already? Is that
We have announced it.
Okay.
It's going to come out on Mother's Day.
Okay.
May 8th, and
Very
we're
soon.
going to also be canning it, which is something that we have never done. We've always had our rattler on tap only.
Right.
Now we're going to be able to distribute our rattler in cans to the market.
That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah. You pretty excited about that, Leos?
We actually made a trip to get a juice.
We did.
Yo, and that was your
That
trip?
was our
That was
trip.
your trip to Michigan. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Yeah.
Because there's no juice in Wisconsin. Sorry to say that.
We had a good time getting juice.
Yeah. Well, anytime that you can have a good time going on a trip for business, I would say,
Absolutely.
keep doing those kinds of trips.
I just kind of wish he'd find something. We need to go somewhere warmer. Just saying, but it's okay.
Well, you got to make something with orange juice, then you can go to
Well,
Florida.
see, we can go to Florida.
You can go to Florida. Or
Papaya.
Ooh.
you can go to the islands. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
You need
Yeah.
the fresh papaya. 'cause
Yeah, the
you
very
can't
fresh.
you
'cause
can't make it with
we're
anything
all
else.
about freshness here, that's what it is.
That's right.
Papaya Pilsner.
No.
You would get my wife to drink Pilsner then, I think. She'd at the very least try it. She's not a fan of Pilsner, but
Yes.
I just can't imagine that combination.
yeah. Well, it'd certainly be different. It'd be something that nobody else is doing currently. So
Yeah, nobody else would drink it either.
We call it innovation.
No, we don't. We're not going to call it anything.
so we can't announce that today, but that's all right.
No papaya. Pilsner
No
this year.
papaya Pilsner. So let's talk a little bit about the decor for those people that have never actually been into Lazy Monk. Believe it or not, I've actually talked to some people that live in Eau Claire recently and said, I've never been to the new place, and how long has that been open? And I said,
5 years.
50 years.
I said it's been a
Yes.
while.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said you probably should get down there.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that have never been here, let's talk a little bit about the decor and the atmosphere that you get when you come into Lazy Monk, because it's not really like anything else that you can get even around here or in the cities or anything like that.
Well, I think one of the biggest compliments that we've ever gotten is it's like Cheers, the movie Cheers,
Yeah.
because it's very community driven. We care about the people who come through the door. Our bartenders, we have a small staff of bartenders. The big rule is no cell phones behind the bar because we want them to be engaged. And some of our bartenders actually, and I know you have probably seen this, you walk through the door and they shout your name out. So
Yeah.
hence the cheers.
Lucky you, your name is not Norm.
Yeah.
Yeah, lucky my name is not Norm. Full disclosure, I am a Mug Club member here, so
Yes.
I've been around for a while.
But, the thing that's cool is our bartenders genuinely enjoy talking to people,
Yeah.
and we enjoy it. So a big difference is we're always here. Our bartenders know people, so you get that sense of community. Even you walk in a stranger, you leave as a friend. That is really how it is here. So our beer hall, we wanted to do something with Germany and Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic.
Yep.
In Germany, the beer halls are all very dark, the very dark wood. And a lot of it's because of the cigarette smoke.
Sure.
But, hundreds of years of that. But we don't have that. And then in the Czech Republic, it's mostly blonde wood
Right.
and light-colored walls. So we married the two. And we had this amazing building. And when Leos first said we were going to put a beer hall in here, and I couldn't believe it because I looked at this 1960s hardware store with, oh my goodness. I mean, literally 60, 70 different fluorescent lights from the 40s. But we did it. And
Yeah.
we have the big family style tables that seat 10 to 12 people. And if you come in and we're busy, you can sit with other people and become friends. And that's what the decor is. It's a German Czech beer hall where everyone can feel comfortable.
And
Right.
it should inspire communication.
Right.
versus being enclosed by yourself.
You know, we are not a bar. And I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people are appreciating that. We are dog friendly.
Mm-hmm.
People bring their dogs in. We have someone who brings their cat in. We love families, and
Yeah.
we have lots of people who bring their children here because it is such a different feeling than a bar.
Right.
You know, it's a sense of community.
Yeah. And I've brought my kids even at the old place. I brought my kids in, and it's not taboo. It's not.
Not at all.
They're welcomed, and nobody's going to give you a cross eyes or the side,
Nope.
look or anything like that. So not only is it welcoming inside, but outside as well, because
Yes.
you have especially when it's warm out, you have a beautiful patio, and now just this year you have a downstairs.
We do. So with the COVID, you know, we've been really good about social distancing
Right.
and having a beer hall that normally seats 200. We have the space inside, but we wanted to create that space outside. The city of Eau Claire has recently put in a beautiful bike trail that goes right over our property. So we wanted people to say, you know what, I'm just going to bike right down there and get myself a beer. So we have the main deck, but then also down below we've added picnic table seating.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be adding an additional bike rack down there. And I'm out planting like crazy, which is, you know, all good for me. It's business expense, and I can do it here.
Sure.
And this summer, we are going to have every other Thursday music in the courtyard.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From 6:30 to 8:30, we have all of these local people lined up to come in and play for a couple hours. So we're hoping that people who are, you know, out and they want to do something, but they want to be outside, not inside, bring your lawn chairs, come on down, grab
Yeah,
a picnic
absolutely.
table, and just enjoy the show. So
Going back to a local, it is going to be the original music most of the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we've got some local people that have amazing talent, and I think that doesn't get showcased very often.
Sure.
So let's get these people out and working again, and crowds enjoying them.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the biggest things, during. Well, we are still in the COVID times.
We absolutely are.
How, going back a little bit, how did you guys? I mean, obviously you're open, and you got through well, I guess what we can call the brunt of COVID. When we were actually forced to shut down. Mm-hmm. How was that? Having to pivot.
it was quite difficult.
Yeah.
But we survived, and nobody. The biggest thing was that there were uncertainties, and nobody could tell you how long.
Right.
And I guess that it's going to be till Christmas, and now we are 4 months later.
Yeah.
But then the first thing was, you are completely shut down, and your majority of your income is shut off, and you cannot do anything. Lucky us that we are also providing a package, the cans, and that really carried us through.
Did you see a lot of, and I heard a lot of support for all of our local breweries. Was there outpouring for that?
Yes, and I would say that really who carried us through were local people,
Yeah.
mostly my club members,
Sure.
and I'm very thankful for that.
We both are very thankful. Again, we have such an amazing group of people there. I don't want to call them customers because honestly, everyone is friends. And
Yeah.
that's what it felt like. Our friends were backing us during this awful time for everybody.
Sure.
But we stayed strong and continued to go, and we're starting to see a pickup. I don't think anyone is where they used to be.
Right.
Don't
but-
think it's going to be for a very long time.
No, but we are so grateful to everyone. It kind of humbled us.
Yeah, and I think business owners in general, not just brewery business owners, but business owners in general,
Small business is tough.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I can. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't do it because you are going to have a larger income than anything else. You are a small business owner because you like to do what you are doing.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people go into business maybe not focused on that. More like maybe we're going to make millions of dollars. And
Yeah.
And that is absolutely
Ain't
not
going
the
to
reason to
happen.
go into small
Sorry
business.
to burst somebody's bubble, but that's not
I
going
think
to happen.
Jared at Ambibulous said, you know how to make $1 million brewing beer?
You need to have a 2 to start with.
Yes.
You know, the deal is if you are in small business, and it doesn't matter what business it is,
Sure.
you have to have a passion for it.
Yeah.
Because if you do think you're going to make $1 million, well, maybe some people do. And kudos to whatever they want. But for us, having our own business and being a part of this community, especially almost 11 years, has been so rewarding on so many levels.
Yes.
It's not the money. It's the relationships.
I call it non-tangible benefits, and it is correct. It's the people and relationship that you develop, and you look back and you see that there are people who actually were so fond that they got married in here, or there are people you affected people in
ways you never expected.
in positive way, and that is the most rewarding what you actually can have in life. It's that you make a difference, you make a positive difference in somebody else's life.
Yeah, and I think that gets overlooked more so in all businesses, but really in the brewery business. You know, I think a lot of people just think, well, you know, they're brewing beer. Yeah, that's great, and I like to go and drink it, but there's a whole nother level of stuff there that never really gets to talked about or anything like that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it doesn't always get brought up, and that's why we do what we do. So it's relationships and not just getting to drink beer. I want to. Oh, hey, we got a guest. So that's perfect, because we need to take a little break. I'm going to fill up my beer, and then we'll come back and we'll. I want to dig in a little bit more about the beer, and then a little bit more about what's coming up in the coming year, because we touched on it a little bit, but I don't think people have gotten the full scope of how much actually goes on at Lazy Monk Brewing. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this short message from our sponsor. This podcast is sponsored by Grazie Aveda Concept Salon and Paradise Massage, where whole body care is their specialty. Now offering massage, nail, and hair care services tailored to everyone's individual needs. They're conveniently located at 4638 Gulf Road in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, or find them online at graziesalon.com. All right, we're back, and we have one more added to this podcast, because I was probably flailing. So Beth has got all of the hard questions that Leos and Theresa are going to have to answer now.
I'm going to grill them. Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
For those of you that are listening for the first time, Beth is my wife. Beth has also helped with some of the Taproom Traveler stuff over the years. If you want to know what she looks like, just go to our YouTube channel. She's been on several vlogs. Much prettier to look at than I am. Yeah, you can't see that. This is a podcast. You can't see the eye roll.
Yes, you can't see the eye
It's a
roll.
beautiful
It was great.
Beautiful thing about only audio.
Can we move on?
Yes, we
Okay.
absolutely can. This is fun, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know if I told you that before you showed up. Anyway. You had a few things that while we were off air that you wanted to ask Leos and Theresa. So let's talk a little bit. I said we were going to talk about the beer before we took the break. You had brought up a great thing that I wanted to talk to Leos about. Some of the beers that you've produced in the past were kind of a tribute to family members, which I think is great. That's the first thing that I've ever seen a brewery. First time I've ever seen a brewery do that. Not that it hasn't happened, but so it's been a couple of years, 2-3 years now.
About 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
So you made a run of beers for your family members.
Yes.
Yeah. So what did you make?
Well, we made Ludmila, and that was a tribute to my grandma.
It was one of my favorites.
She was a little tiny woman.
Little tiny woman. I mean, she was 4'2". If she was really tiny.
And she lived to almost 100 years.
Oh wow!
And she unknown to me, when she passed away, we found all these copper tubings.
She was a bootlegger, and she had stills. And I'll tell you, her house was up in the mountains, and we went up there. And if I could have gotten that stuff home on an airplane,
Sure.
oh, I mean, not that I was going to bootleg. I'm just saying these copper.
You could recycle it.
Oh yes,
Yes.
that's what I was
Well,
bringing it back to the
copper's-
States for.
copper's
But
worth a
yes,
lot of money,
you
yeah.
just you would never expect this sweet little old lady was making her own moonshine.
And to my knowledge, then she was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, practice makes perfect.
Well, absolutely. Somebody must have been buying it.
Yes. Well,
But-
I don't think it was for buying. You know,
Oh,
it was
she was just-
it was
She's just
mostly
taking
for
a nip, medicinal purposes.
Oh,
yeah.
well, 100 years. Something must have been
Exactly.
working.
Yes, but
one of the spirits over there. Unlike here, it's a whiskey over there. It's those would be fruit brandies,
Sure.
and they made a fruit brandy from plums. And
Okay.
it's called Slivovica. So that's what she practiced.
so when he loved his Starka, his grandma, so
I spent
much.
a lot of summers there.
A lot of summers there, lots of stories about goats and mistletoe, but we don't need to go into those now.
It was in the boondocks in the mountains.
And not bad stories, funny stories. But he loved her, and that had to be our first beer that came out with that moonshine plum.
You know, unassuming beer.
Yes.
That was high in alcohol, and there were notes of the alcohol as well.
I remember because when it came out, I even remember when I was sitting at the bar when I had the first glass and I went, "Oh, that wasn't so bad." And then I had a second glass, and then I went to get up,
And you sat back
and
down.
then I sat back down.
The grandma.
Yes.
She would have been proud. And then Leos brewed one for his mother, Yarmila, and she loved chocolate. And
But she knew she could not eat a lot of it, but
Right.
she always bought a chocolate. She was chocoholic.
Yeah.
she
And-
had stockpiles of it in her room. And when I say stockpiles, I mean, we're talking she would have stacks of these big chocolate bars in her room. And then whenever we would come, we'd go home with stacks of them. Well, she just bought it for
One
us.
suitcase of the chocolate.
No, seriously.
So the other one was a chocolate. It was chocolate something.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, that's horrible. I don't remember.
It was not as remarkable as
Yeah.
Ludmila.
But the best
that was
one,
Yarmila.
we wanted to do one for Leos's father, Ludomir.
Yeah.
But his two favorite flavors were smoked fish and bananas. And we just, no matter how, we just could not wrap our brain around that. So,
You could,
Dad, we love you, but you didn't get a beer.
could have done a smoked fish Hefeweizen.
Yeah, no. You know, there's just certain things you want to stay away from. So we
Yeah.
loved him to death, but he didn't get his own beer.
Yeah.
There was also a story about that. My dad actually liked honey.
Okay.
And I have a fond memories. Like we went to honeybee people and got like 5 liters of the honey, and then he was actually consuming it over the winter. Well, we got ourselves a honey, but we never really made a beer out of it.
And now I have 5
So it would
gallons
be
of honey
banana-
at home that I've been
Banana, honey, and smoked fish.
using. No. You know, now there are probably some breweries that may try that, but remember I said earlier before
Yeah.
the break, we don't do a lot of really weird combinations, and I think that one would be probably right up there.
I think you would have a hard time pushing the fish one out.
Well,
I haven't.
this is Wisconsin.
I have seen an
Fish ball.
oyster beer, and believe it or not, it wasn't bad. It was just salty. But
I'm sorry, sea
Any-
creatures just
anytime
don't belong in beer.
anytime you put sea creatures in something, I
That's yucky.
shy away from that. They're meant to be.
You do not need to worry about us. We are landlocked country. There's no sea fish. Nothing. We are fine.
You heard it here
Pork.
first.
What about doing like a banana honey beer, like a Hefeweizen with honey? Would that even be doable?
Could be, but we already consume certain amount of honey.
Oh, honey.
Yep. Do you
Honey,
want honey?
honey had to be used.
Did you
it
need
only
honey?
lasts for.
Because I could give you some.
Well, how much would you actually have to put in a batch if you were going to use something like that? Is it quite a bit?
Yes, fair amount, yes. Well, it depends, I mean, if you just do it for marketing perspective, you just can show the picture of the honeybee to a boil kettle and you are done. But if you want to have a honey flavor, you need to actually put it. The challenge with the honey is there are very delicate aromatics and you cannot heat it. So that's the challenge. You would put it then, how to prepare it and put it in a fermenter at the end of the fermentation.
Okay.
And then there's also me and my husband named a beer after me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that is
called a honey bee, Theresa?
No, it's not, because I'm so sweet. No, it's Teresa's Sunshine. It's a summer winter. It's a summer wheat ale. And
Well, it is Wisconsin. It could be summer, winter.
Well,
you never know.
it has been today.
It is right now.
But I was shocked and very pleased when I found that out. So, and honored because, his grandma, his mom, and his dad, obviously were huge figures in his life. And we're about to celebrate our 28th, oh my Lord, we're old, wedding anniversary. And at 28 years, he named a beer after me.
Yeah.
So
What else can I do?
And we can go back to what we touched on a little bit at the beginning. When I was in Prague, you guys got married in Prague, right?
Yes, we
we
did.
were married
Yeah.
in Prague.
In Old Town Square.
Yeah. And
Little did I know 28 years later I'd be back in my same hometown. You marry a man from Prague, you think you're going to have this life of, no.
Life of public transportation.
At your 26-year anniversary, I was standing in the very square that you guys got married in. So that was
How cool was that?
Yeah, that was very cool. I didn't know it until after I went there, but
chances are it was much different when you were there than when we were there.
yeah. Did you have any circus performers there while
Yeah,
you were?
no.
None of that.
No.
Oh,
No.
How
Sorry
about
about that.
angry ladies slinging sausages?
No,
None
and
of
you
that
could
either?
walk across Charles Bridge, and
Yeah.
it was only the babushka ladies with their carts.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah, it's
I
not
mean,
that way now.
No,
Yeah.
there was none of the touristy stuff. So I was
Wow.
very fortunate to see Prague in its glory.
Yeah.
And now it's become such a tourist mecca. I mean, it's a beautiful city, don't get me
Yep,
wrong.
absolutely.
But it's just so different for us now.
The best time in Prague is 6 o'clock in the morning. There's
Well-
nobody there. You can walk. You can stroll 4 hours. Well, till 8.
So about 8 when the tourists come out.
Yes.
That's when they come out of their
Maybe
holes.
9 if you get lucky. But it is very rare that you're on a Charles Bridge and there is nobody there. There is just you.
Right.
And that would be at 6, 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to remember that the next time I go.
There you
Yes.
go.
Because I was not there at 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yes, and then everybody actually it's a walking bridge, so everybody actually
Right.
walk from one side to the other side.
It is an extremely difficult town to navigate on foot, though. If you can take a wrong turn very easily.
All what you need to do, you just need to walk till the time you find the letter M.
Yeah.
That means metro or underground.
Oh, very good.
And then you are never lost because you find the underground and you get somewhere.
Well, if you have no idea where you're going, that's,
You are correct. And
so
that's
really,
actually a nice mystery of Prague that you walk and you have the sense of loss, but you are not necessarily lost because you will get somewhere all the time.
Oh, that was
Yes.
I mean, honest to gosh.
It's very
was that,
profound.
Oh,
that was
unbelievable.
time before GPS. It was time with the MAP. Oh, sorry, map.
I got lost 3 times, and I found myself in a bar each time.
Oh, well,
So,
see, it all worked out in
The
the end.
first one was very welcoming, although I did not have my wife with me. There was a sign out front that said husband drop off or babysitting drop off here, and I went, well, I'm pretty sure I'll be all right in there.
Qualified.
And I sat down with some very nice people.
You know, when we talk about Prague, what is interesting that there is a tourist part of the Prague and then there is a native part of the Prague, and those things actually they live side by side. And you might have, let's say, like Ufleku, that is a huge tourist trap, and just right around corner there is a bar that nobody goes there, just locals.
Yep.
And Ufleku, you have a beer for, like $4, and the locals, you have a beer for $1.50.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And then you sit in that local bar and you see just droves of the tourists passing by, trying to head to Ufleku. Because I guess when you're in Rome, you need to see Colosseum, and when you're in
Sure.
Prague, you need to go to Ufleku.
Yeah. I did not go there. Yeah.
Good for you.
I went to the little places.
And that's what it's. And let's say like Ufleku, I said it around the corner, but there was a place just across the street, and that was just for people from Prague,
Yeah.
because all the tourists they took a left.
I was not a local. However, they were very nice to me, and they just by looking at me, they knew that I was from America, which it was tough. I mean, to accept
Shoes.
that, I was like, no, I'm from Canada.
Yeah.
No. You guys accept Canadians here, right?
I'm
not
almost
American.
Canadian.
I actually have a story about being local in Europe.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I took a trip, left my husband at home, and we didn't have any fun at all. But
No, I bet not.
No.
Yeah.
It was
we
hard
wanted
work.
to visit his sister.
Was that a business trip?
Yeah, Leos' sister was
expense.
a teacher, and she was still teaching when we got into town. So, for what do we want to do? Let's have a beer. So we were in the center square. We pull up in front of what we assume is a bar, walk in. Well, every place kind of went quiet, but we didn't care. We sat down and ordered beers, and it was all great. And then we had a good time, and the locals then started, trying to sign language with us because they spoke no English, and
Right.
my Slovak sucks. Anyway, so we went ahead and went to his sister's house, and his nephew, Leos' nephew, was there, and we said we went to this bar, and he just got this really weird look on his face, like white, and he's like, "What bar?" And we told him exactly where it was. He goes, "Oh, not even the locals go there because it's like this really bad biker, you get stabbed kind of place bar." And we're like, "Really?" We thought they were really great, and we had a good time. So sometimes being a tourist, you just walk in and just smile
Oblivious.
at people.
Yeah.
I was oblivious.
Wow.
We had a wonderful time, and they still could not believe that we actually went in there. I mean, most places we were safe.
Sure.
Two wackadoodle women laughing a lot. Oh.
Well, the difference is that usually Europe is, well, I cannot speak generally, but Czech Republic and Slovak Republic was personally safe. That you might get pickpocket,
Sure.
but your personal well-being was mostly fine.
Yep, I had no problem.
And that's why, if you're in Prague, just wander around,
Yeah. And I did a lot of that. It was great.
Too bad his tour group was continually trying to find him.
You lost them.
A
You
very,
didn't have
a very
umbrella.
short story about my tour group. They
The
were
old
using me.
ladies?
They were using me as a beacon.
Still, you lost the umbrella.
No, they just my big bald head.
Tall guy, tall guy.
Tall guy. They were following around the tall guy. Not a lot of tall people over there. So
I don't know. Would disagree.
at least the day that I was there, not a lot of tall people. So these two older ladies were able to find me very easily, and they followed me the entire trip. But
So, do they do the Kindle Mart there? Is that where that came from?
That's
You guys
actually
do?
from Germany.
That's from
And they
Germany.
have, actually...
You are talking Chris Kringle, Mark,
there's-
Yes.
Yes.
Christmas Mart.
Yes.
There are definitely all across Europe they do it, but I think it's originated in Germany.
You probably can find in Prague as well. But
in Prague and Vienna, there's some other big cities.
where
that do
I
do it.
lived, we did not necessarily have that. You could buy your carp before Christmas.
I don't think Beth knows the story about the carp.
Let me
fish.
tell it. Let me tell it. So, Leos is from a town called Banska Bystrica. I call it BB for short because I've said it wrong for years and he always corrects me. So you don't have to correct me.
It's Banska Bystrica.
Yeah, okay. And one of my first Christmases there, we're walking down, and you can imagine it's a town about the size of Eau Claire, 70,000 people. Beautiful downtown, and you have the garland and the smells of Christmas, and it's all great. And then we come upon these big, huge swimming pools in the middle of the square. I'm like, what the heck? Remember, it's a landlocked, so they don't have fish.
Right.
But at Christmas, if you're Catholic, you eat fish. They bring in live carp in these huge swimming pools. And then you go down, but here's the kicker. You go and you pick your little carp out, or not little, I'm talking honking black ugly things. Then you bring it home and you put it in your bathtub until Christmas, and then you kill it. But if you're a tourist like me,
No.
yeah. So if you're a tourist like me and you go to Leos's friend
We were,
Stano's
I'm
house,
sorry.
and-
I take a fifth because we are not Catholics. we
we had
Protestants.
Kapuschnitska, so
Protestants,
different.
yeah.
Yes.
But we go to Stano's house, and in Europe, most countries, the toilet is in a different room than the tub and the sink, but not at Stano's. So I go into the restroom to go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I look down, and here's Waldo or
There's
whatever
fish.
the fish.
There's a carp. Oh yeah.
Oh no! In the bathtub.
and
Honest
most-
to gosh, I let out a scream like you would never believe.
And most families name the fish, right?
Oh,
there are a lot of kids that name their carp.
No, I don't
I
want
have
to-
no idea because we
Oh,
just
you
had
Protestants, yeah.
yeah, we
not
just had a dead piece of meat, you know.
You're not supposed to name your food.
Oh, but it was so so that's what they do. But back to the Kris Kringle market. Yeah,
Much better.
we
segue.
wanted to bring that back to. We wanted to bring it to Eau Claire.
So
now,
we'll not be selling carbs here?
will you stop it?
You could
Oh
get
my
a
gosh.
swimming pool. Although the time of the year that you have the Kindle marts.
You could be an ice skating rink.
Yeah. You leave the fish out there for 15 minutes and there'll be frozen fish.
Well, that
the
is
carbs are really hardy.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well, man.
the market that we have, and we hope to bring it back this year. It's about spotlighting, and even when you're in Germany or one of Vienna or wherever, it's about spotlighting, your local people. So basically,
Local artists.
local artists, and we try to put it on every year, and we have these little huts that are reminiscent of what they have, and we have vendors come in. But the kicker is, it's December and it's Wisconsin, and we hold it outside.
Yeah.
And we have all kinds of artisans that make soup to nuts. I mean, really. And then we've got some food folks that come, and it's just a fun event. First year we had it, people were like, what is this? Second year we had it, people were really enjoying it. Third year went well, fourth year, and then obviously we didn't have it last year. So I hope to bring it back, and it's just a tradition in Europe because over there they continue to have downtown, even in the winter, farmers markets.
Sure.
So you can always go and get your bread and your cheese and all of that.
Or the chocolate.
Or
Or stuff
chocolate.
like that.
And at Christmas time, it just becomes beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. So we just try to bring a little bit of that to Eau Claire. We do it in our parking lot, and we usually have 20 to 25 vendors. And the public comes and buys a lot of Christmas stuff. So
It's awesome. It's and I've never been to the Christmas markets over in Germany, but you hear a lot about them. And my grown-up job, we take trips over to the Christmas markets and stuff. And you hear such great things about them, and
Absolutely.
you see the videos and things. And yes, it's snowing and it's cold, but people are still outside,
Absolutely.
and they're enjoying their time, and it's more like what you'd said in the beginning. It's community.
Yes.
It's a community building
Part of the
activity.
tradition.
Yeah.
That's what you do,
Yes, and it is the community, and people get out and they don't mind. Here in our society, we're very car-driven,
Yeah.
but there in Europe, whether you're in Germany or wherever, a lot is still mass transit, subways, metros, whatever.
It is mostly because of density of the
Yeah,
population.
the density of the population. So people shop every day for their regular groceries, and to have the special market is a cool thing.
And instead of, like, if you go to grocery store, you have maybe 10 bags, over there, you have just one. You
Right.
buy what you need for dinner or for 2 dinners, whatever it is. And you stop there on the way, home. So you get off from your bus and you go to shop for 10 minutes and off you go.
Yeah.
Well, it is very special. We enjoy
Thank
going
you.
every year. So.
Well, let's hope we can do it again this year.
Yeah. You can go to the fancy Aldi over there, like I saw. Yeah.
Or Lidl.
Yeah.
What was the third one? There was
Penny. Is it Penny?
Billa.
Beulah.
And
Beulah.
Penny Mart.
And Penny Mart.
I saw the Aldi in Budapest, so that it was not like Aldi here.
No.
No, I heard about it from there too. He was like, "You got to see this Aldi." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
No, we actually, when we first started going to Germany, we'd fly into Frankfurt and then we'd head east. We would stop at Aldi's. We thought it was like some really cool upscale whatever, you
Sure,
know.
yeah, and it is
It
there.
is
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
So when we got an Aldi's here, I was like, yes. Oh. And I don't mean to say that bad because
No,
you know
it's- yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so
Still
I
get your chocolate there.
Yeah.
I don't buy you chocolate because you yell at me, but I buy my German coffee there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
You should
it's
buy
different.
Honest Roast coffee.
Well, that's true, but
That's the last thing that I want to talk about. So you guys have a beer coming up.
We have a couple new things.
couple new things,
So
yeah.
we have the Rattler, which we already
Yep,
talked about.
yep.
And we are going to have a Honest Roast coffee lager.
And
Coming
Honest Roast is a local
we have
coffee
we
roaster.
have partnered with a local roaster, and he's supplied coffee for us for a couple other things with our dark lager.
Yep.
Cold press.
and a cold press, and we wanted to partner with them again, and we're very excited. So
That's awesome. And when is that one coming out?
That's going to be for Craft Beer Week.
Okay. Yeah.
yes,
Awesome.
which we have events for. You know, every night we've got our music, and we've got some giveaways, and we're having beer bingo.
Yes, I saw
Yeah.
that.
I know. I think that's going to be so much fun. Come in, play bingo, and you can win free beer. So just small things, because again, with the COVID issues, we wanted to try to bring some people in, and we want to have a good time.
And you have anything else in the works that you can mention, or just pay
I'm old
attention?
and I don't remember.
Well,
Okay.
there's one I
Plead
hope
the fifth.
that's coming, unless you already talked
Which one's
about
that?
Which one's that?
Teresa, sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we
Sunshine,
talked
yes.
about
We
that.
talked
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
it. What about your rhubarb?
Yeah, we talked
Yeah, we
about
talked
that.
about
You
that too.
missed
See,
it,
I'm
darn.
Jeez, yeah,
We-
man, you should
we
show up when we
actually-
start.
We actually have some things that we've been talking about that we're excited about. You know, again, not going off the radar and
Right.
sticking true to who we are. But I think the public will be excited when we announce them.
So when people want to see your announcement, where's the best place to find all that? Is it Facebook or?
Yeah, we're really trying to use the Facebook and the Twitter or Instagram feed
Instagram.
right now. Our
We cannot
website.
find a password for Twitter.
You don't want to be on there anyway. It's a
Nah.
real
Yeah,
hellhole. I
it's
just
not.
was on there today. Don't even bother.
Okay, we won't.
Yeah.
We are in the process of hopefully retooling our website because we've had some issues with the new setup. So
Sure.
you can see beers out there, but it's not as good as we'd like. And now we think we're going to, you can scan a barcode,
I think they call it touchless menu.
a touchless menu that we'll put on Facebook as well as on our website, where
Okay.
people will see current what is on there. So,
So
Awesome.
it's a QR code.
Sure.
yeah. So,
Oh, the
So, yeah.
technology.
oh, I
Yeah,
know. I
right?
mean, and
Oh,
I'm
oh
telling
my
you,
gosh.
I am the technology girl.
You are.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
we had to hire somebody for that.
Oh, ugh.
Cause
And you know, we
a
talk
business
about
expense.
small business. Don't ever go into business and work with your husband all the time. I'm
Oh, I
telling
love that. You should.
You love working with your husband?
Yes, I do.
That's why when Beth started a business, she started something that I am not
Alone.
into. I don't have any hair, and I have no interest in doing hair. So she's just out there alone on her own doing her thing.
And she does a heck of a job.
She
so
does a heck of a job.
I
That's
love
right.
going there.
So yeah, check out Lazy Monk on Facebook, and check on later in the summer even, and they probably have updates to their website. Follow them on Instagram too. Thank you, Leos and Theresa, so much for being with us today.
Yes,
thank
It's
you.
been
Thank you.
it's been great having you on. And of course, check out Taproom Travelers on all of the social medias, even Twitter. Believe it or not. I don't really do a heck of a lot there, but most of the stuff is in Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all that good stuff. So we will probably be at another brewery next week. Where is that, you ask? I have no idea. So we will talk at you all later. Thank you for listening. Prost.